How can regular working people like us, how can we fix our broken financial system to redirect the wealth and power of big banks, traditional corporations, and the super rich to us regular working people without relying on politicians or regulations? This is the question we ask on the Crowd Effect podcast. I am your host, Paul Lovejoy, activist investment advisor at Stakeholder Enterprise. Today, we're going to be talking about reducing household expenses. So I have some own ideas on how to reduce household expenses, but I went ahead and typed in a search on Google to tips on reducing household expenses, and I get a bunch of results from different websites like NerdWallet, Dave Ramsey, In Debt, Out of Debt Solutions, a whole host of different um, websites. Um, each of these websites have their own agenda, though. So I'm looking at NerdWallet, and they say, "Oh, create a automatic household budget with one of these money management apps," which are a great idea. But then, of course, they have these links to third parties, which they get paid for if you click on the link and you sign up for it. So there's these hidden agendas. Dave Ramsey, obviously, he wants you to use his program, the debt snowball, and these other debt companies. They want you to use their products, and understandably so. But I don't want to um, recommend you to go to a certain website only to because there's a hidden agenda involved. It doesn't feel right to me. Um, and ultimately, I don't think any of them are really giving you their judgment is clouded because they have some ulterior profit motive. Not that it's conscious, but it can't help but to seep in. So I decided to ask ChatGPT, which I've been using a lot more recently. Um, I know most of the people who I talk to are parents of school age children because I'm a father with school age children. And when I ask them about ChatGPT, they say, "Oh, it's for." I heard kids can get essays written for them, and I think that's a very simplistic view. There's all kind of great stuff. So I asked ChatGPT, "What are 10 tips to reduce household expenses?" And it came up with a phenomenal list, and I agree with everything, starting with their first tip, which is probably the most important: create a budget. They say, or ChatGPT says, start by creating a budget that lists all your monthly expenses and income. This will help you keep track of your expenses and identify areas where you can reduce your spending. Yeah, yes, this is the most important thing. And there are a number of money management apps that you could get that will automate that. You link all your financial accounts, and it automatically tells you what your average monthly expenses are and in which category, too. Now, I also have a money management portal that does the same thing. It also tracks your monthly cash flow, or in the investment advisory world, we say net monthly income. That's essentially your monthly expenses, uh, your monthly income subtracted by your monthly expenses. That equals your monthly cash flow or your net monthly income. And this is a way just to kind of see, okay, yeah, I spend too much here, here, and here, and I can do some savings. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. This is tip number 2 by ChatGPT. Identify areas where you can cut back on expenses such as eating out, cable TV, and subscriptions that you don't use frequently. Eating out, I think, is the biggest expense for a lot of people unnecessarily. Yes, it is time consuming to make yourself food, but it's a huge, huge money saver. Something that you could do if you buy lunch every day at work, start by making yourself a sandwich at least one day a week. If you don't like sandwiches, and sandwiches are really easy to make. Gee, I mean, I've even made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I know that's very childlike, and maybe that's beneath you. You can have some deli cut sandwich if you want, just one day a week. You don't like sandwiches? Try a salad. But you get the point. There's It's not that difficult, and especially if you wake up maybe 5 minutes earlier in the morning, that's all it takes. Um, Next, number three, save on groceries. One of the most significant expenses in a household is groceries. You can save on groceries by planning your meals, buying generic brands, and using coupons. Okay, I don't use coupons. I find that time consuming. And but sometimes I do, especially if I see a coupon on the product. I'll use it while I'm at the grocery store. I'll definitely use it. Um, Planning meals. That's something I also do. We have Mondays are pasta night. Tuesday is a Taco Tuesday, but we also do burritos and other kind of Mexican food. Wednesday is burger night. Thursday, I do an international day. So I kind of rotate between Asian and Indian and kind of American, like chili, something like that. Friday's pizza night. You get the idea. And this way, you're always you have a plan in mind when you're going grocery shopping. Okay, do I have Tuesday's meal? Do I have Wednesday's meal? It huge money saver and also time saver when you're in the grocery, and you're not you're sticking to a plan, and you're not going on impulse buys either. Okay, number four, reduce energy consumption. You can reduce your energy bill by turning off lights and appliances when not in use, using energy efficient light bulbs and appliances, and improving insulation in your home. Now, all of that is good tips. Um, Opening your windows, especially if you have screens, instead of using the air conditioner, if it's not too hot. um, yeah, the light bulb thing, that's pretty. Most people are doing that. When you use your appliances is also an important thing. There's these peak energy usage hours, and that generally is after in between 5 and 9 p.m. So avoid turning on the dishwasher at that time. Things like that. Okay. Number five, avoid impulse purchases. Impulse purchases can add up quickly, and it's best to avoid them altogether. Before making a purchase, take a few minutes to consider whether you really need the item. There is something called a 30-day rule that I've seen, and this really is helpful for online shopping because it's so easy to buy stuff online, especially Amazon. They have this one click and buy. It's crazy. Well, there's a 30-day rule. Like, okay, let's continue with Amazon. You can put something, in a wish list or in your shopping cart, but not buy it, and you wait 30 days before, so you can let it stew in you and kind of marinate and see if that's something you actually want. If 30 days is too long, then you could try something else like 72 hours or something along those lines. As long as you have time to think about it, like whether you actually need it or not. So even 24 hours, it's helpful. Okay, number six, make use of loyalty programs and discounts. Many store offer loyalty programs and discounts, so be sure to sign up for them and take advantage of the savings. Okay, my wife loves Amazon, and living in Hawaii, it's hard to find items in the store, so we do use Amazon quite a bit. So we are Prime members, and that's also helpful whenever we shop at Whole Foods. I look for these prime sales. Whole Foods generally is more expensive. Here's another tip: I like to buy their generic brand, the Whole Foods brand. It's so much cheaper than the other brands. But I don't just shop at Whole Foods. I have to because of my younger son has food allergies and they have these specialty items. But I also go to other local grocery stores. There's something called Times here, have great produce. I buy local produce there. It's wonderful. Um, Reduce transportation costs. You can reduce transportation costs by using public transportation, carpooling, or walking, biking instead of driving. This is challenging for some of you. It's hard to kind of um, it's can be a major inconvenience to have to use public transportation. Oftentimes, it's a lot quicker to take your car, but I have taken the bus. My last employment, I would take the bus downtown, and I could get there a lot quicker on my car. But on the bus, I would be working, and in the end, was a time saver for me to take the bus because I would get work done while I'm on the bus, and a huge a huge savings in cost in gas, in parking. I had to go downtown, work downtown, and so the parking was, crazy. So taking the bus was a huge um, r- reduced in transportation cost. Number eight, cut back on entertainment expenses. Instead of going out to expensive events or movies, consider hosting a movie night at home or going on a picnic with friends. Yeah, that's something that I think is a great idea. Also, they oftentimes your city or county offers free concerts in the park during the summer. That's something that I like to take advantage of. Yeah, the going on picnics or just getting together with friends, and potluck, bring music to a park. Have one of these portable speakers. Super fun. It's a lot of fun, and I think that's a way to be social. Also, they have there's meetup.com, and a lot of these events can be free on that. Some of them are a lot cheaper than if you're going to expensive events. Okay, buy used items. This is number nine. Instead of buying new, consider buying used items such as furniture, appliances, and clothing. You could save a lot of money and still get quality items. Yeah, I met a guy the other day who owns a used appliance business, and he started off as an appliance repair guy, and then he just um, figured out that hey, people love used appliances, to buy because they can be expensive and they're not lasting that long anymore. They're not build it. They build them kind of cheap. Corporations will build them cheap because they want you to keep buying more of them. It's a business model, and buying used appliances are a great idea, especially from a reputable person. Just buying a used appliance on Craigslist, doesn't have it may be cheaper, may not be, but if you can find a business that sells used appliances, that is a huge savings. This guy I know, he stores his used appliances he with in garages of people who are in the military. So military people, they don't have need all the garage space because they're moving around so much. So he'll store it, and so he has low overhead, and finding these guys are great, or gals, whatever. Okay, last one. Number 10, DIY projects. Do it yourself projects can save you money on repairs and renovations. Learn some basic skills and tackle simple projects around the house, such as painting or repairing a leaky faucet. Yes, YouTube is wonderful for that sort of thing. And maybe that's something you already do, but gosh, it could save you so much money to fix a leaky faucet yourself watching on YouTube than um, hiring someone to do it. Another thing that is a lot cheaper are replacing your wiper blades. I know I used to go to Jiffy Lube and they said, "Hey, your blades need to be replaced," and I would say, "Yeah, go ahead." But now I don't do that because this exact thing. I was like, "Well, I can watch this on YouTube and figure out how to do it myself." I'm not a do-it-yourselfer. I would consider myself a pay somebody elseer, but some of these projects I have been able to do some simple, even electrician type projects. They're easier than you would think, and there are some really good qualified electricians or plumbers or contractors that are on YouTube with these really helpful videos. Okay, so how does reducing your household expenses help fix our broken financial system? Well, if you can't reform your own personal financial system, how can we expect to fix our national financial system? My name is Paul Lovejoy. I am a crowd investor, and I see you are one too. If you'd like to know how to fix our broken financial system legally, ethically, and without confrontation, go to stakeholderenterprise.com.